I'm Jessica. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. So, what's got you coming in today?
Um, well, my mom thought that it would be a good idea, just because her and my dad, they told me last week that they're not going to be married anymore. So, and she was just worried about me, because like all my friends at school, like their parents are married, and I think she just wanted to make sure that I'm okay with everything.
That sounds like a really hard thing to go through. I'm sorry that Mom and Dad are not going to be married anymore.
Yeah.
How did you feel when your mom told you that? What was the first thing you remember feeling?
Sad.
What does the sadness feel like for you? What were you thinking about? What were the thoughts that you had?
I was just thinking about whether or not we would be able to go to Disney World in August like we do every August. We all go together.
That sounds like fun. Tell me a little more about that. Is that a family tradition?
Yeah, my grandparents go too. Me, my brother, my mom, and my dad. And then my aunt goes with us too.
And you guys stay there and for how long?
Like a week. Yeah, we stay at this the same resort every year. It's called the Fort Wilderness Lodge, and it's really nice.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Do you
Mhm.
guys like to do the Animal Kingdom?
We do
That's
Animal
my favorite part of
Kingdom.
Disney.
Yeah, we do Animal Kingdom. We do Universal. Then we go to Universal Studios, and then we go to Magic Kingdom, and then we go to SeaWorld.
Wow. Sounds like you guys do a lot together.
Yeah.
What else do you guys do together as a family?
We like to go to Red Sox games. Um, we like to go out for ice cream. Um, we like to go to mini golf, and my dad will take us to the playground a lot. My mom will sometimes come, but not all the time.
Mhm. Now you said, do you have a brother? Is that what you mentioned? How old's your brother?
He's 7. I'm the oldest in the family.
How old are you?
I'm 9. I'm gonna be 10 in October.
Double digits. Wow. That's awesome. Must feel really good to be a big sister.
Yeah. He annoys me sometimes. Like he likes to like take my like dolls, and he likes to like take like their heads off. It's like really weird.
You know, when I was 9, my little brother was 5, and he took my doll's head off, and we had construction in my house. There's a big hole in the wall, and my brother took my favorite pair of earrings, my hairbrush, and the doll's head, and put them all down the hole. And no matter how much my dad looked, we couldn't find it.
Oh.
Kind of silly. Brothers can be kind of annoying. I know how that is.
Yeah.
So, even though brothers can be a little annoying, do you guys get along okay generally?
Yeah, we play. We play outside after school, or after we finish our homework sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And what else do we do? Yeah, like we like the same movies, and we like the same like video games, and like we have our own like kind of games that we play.
That's cool. Sounds like you guys, it's nice to have those same things that you can do with your brother.
Yeah.
Um, so my mind just went blank.
Only 4 minutes in. Do you want to start over?
No, I
Okay.
want to keep going.
Okay.
So you and your brother play together a lot. You guys, I know you said you usually get along pretty good. That seems really nice to have someone so close. I know, you said you were worried when mom told you that mom and dad weren't going to be married anymore, that you were worried you might not be able to go to Disney World. What else do you worry about?
I just worry that I'm worried that my dad is gonna be with somebody else, and that they might. I only heard this because I just overheard, like, my mom talking to my aunt and my mom talking to my grandparents, but they're making it sound like my dad, like, might marry someone else, and I don't know, one of my friends was saying that, like, so the same thing kind of happened to her, and her dad married somebody else, and they had a baby, and I'm just worried that if that happens with my dad, then he's going to be with the baby a lot, and then he might not have a lot of time for me, and he might take that baby and his, new wife to Disney World, and we won't be able to go anymore.
Sounds like you're worried about a lot. Sounds like a lot of worry for someone your age. Sounds like a really tough time for your whole family. So when Mom told you, did Mom and Dad tell you together that they wouldn't be married anymore?
Yep.
And was your brother with you too?
Yep.
So how have you been feeling, like, since that happened? Like, what's things been like for you since they told you that? Like, maybe you could draw a picture for me, actually. Would you like to do that?
Okay, I like to draw.
So, what I want you to do is just go ahead and maybe draw me a picture of, like, what a normal day would be like.
Okay.
And then we can go through it afterwards and you can kind of show me. Okay?
Okay. Anytime I draw somebody, I always make their hair look like linguine.
That's really funny. I like that. Do you like linguine?
Yeah.
All kinds of pasta or just linguine?
All kinds of pasta.
Yum. Some of my family's Italian, so we used to eat a lot of pasta.
Yeah, I'm Italian too.
Very cool.
My grandparents are from Milan, so.
Oh, wow. Does your grandma, does your mom, or anybody cook a lot?
Yeah, my grandmother makes meatballs and she makes everything,
yum.
but her meatballs are my favorite.
That sounds really delicious. What's some of your other favorite foods that you eat?
I like chicken. I like chicken noodle soup. I like macaroni and cheese. I like
all the good stuff.
Yeah.
So is Grandma Mom's mom or Dad's mom?
Dad's mom.
Dad's mom. You guys are pretty close?
Yeah, she lives right down the street. I go over her house a lot.
What do you guys do with Grandma?
We watch movies at her house. We do puzzles. We do art. I sometimes help her bake and cook. I'll always set the table for her when she's making dinner.
It sounds like you're really helpful to your grandma. I bet she loves you very much.
Yeah, she does.
I know you told me a few minutes ago that you were worried about Dad maybe marrying somebody else.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty tough thing to think about, and especially to hear, other people talking about it, and,
Yeah.
not to you. It must be hard to think about.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about parents and the cool thing about grandmas is they're always going to love you no matter what. I bet Grandma is still going to be able to spend that time with you, watch movies, do
Yeah.
all of that stuff. You're a really good artist.
Thanks.
I see some of the people you're drawing there. We can talk in a minute, but I notice how good you are at drawing people. Do you like to draw a lot?
Yeah. I'm in the art club at school.
Really? That sounds awesome. What do you guys do? What kind of art?
We do we do a lot of like watercolor. We do we're learning about like graffiti and like the history of graffiti. And we don't actually like go around and like do graffiti like on like walls, but like we'll draw graffiti like on paper, and then and it's actually really cool.
That sounds awesome. Have you ever tried doing it on paper? Like writing your name and like the graffiti writing?
Yeah. It's cool.
Will you do your name in a little graffiti for me on your paper?
Sure.
Thanks. I like that kind of art myself, so it'd be nice to see that. So how do you feel, I just wanted to ask, when you're drawing stuff, not just today, but most days, how do you feel when you're drawing? Like, what kind of things do you feel when you're in that zone?
I feel like I don't have to worry about really anything else. Like I can just focus on my drawing and not really, and not have to worry.
Sounds like a really good thing. Sometimes it's hard when, for both adults and grown-ups and kids, it can be hard because we have these things and we're thinking them over and over, and it kind of gets overwhelming and tough. And it's always good to have ways to get out of that. And I like that drawing is one of those ways for you. So why don't you show me what you drew? Tell me a little more about it.
So it's my dad. He kind of has like curly hair. He's really tall too.
So his hair is maybe more like Fusili than Linguini.
Yeah. And he's really tall. And then that's my mom right there. She's kind of short. She and I are actually kind of almost the same height.
Wow.
And then my brother got a little bit taller recently, but he's still kind of short, like me and my mom.
Let's see here. Yeah, I noticed you're standing next to Dad. Do you feel like you're more close with Mom or Dad?
I think my dad, just because he likes art too. He helps me with my art because he studied art in college. He doesn't do art as a job now. He does something like with business, but he helps me with my art.
Do you feel really close to Dad when you guys work on art together?
Yeah.
What other things do you do with Dad?
We like to go to the movies. We love Pixar movies. We can't wait until Finding Dory comes out.
Ooh, that looks really good.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you're with Dad? Tell me some of the things that you feel when you're spending time with Dad. The emotions.
I feel safe.
What does safe feel like for you? Explain that a little to me.
I just know he would protect me if someone tried to hurt me or if I was in danger, or something. I know he would. There was one time where we were at our summer house in Maine, and we were swimming in the lake, and I was like laying down on a raft, and we were all just playing, and I was kind of like not paying attention, and I drifted, and then my dad noticed, and he just like swam right out to just come pull me back in. So stuff like that. He's, you know.
Sounds like Dad's really invested in protecting you and keeping you safe. And
Mhm.
would you say Dad's a good dad?
Yeah.
What makes him a good dad?
He takes care of us. He likes to play with us.
Mhm.
He buys us things even when my mom might say no.
That's kind of a dad's job sometimes. I know my dad used to do that too, all the time. One time he bought us a really big trampoline. Really big.
We have a trampoline too.
Those are so fun.
Yeah.
So Dad kind of takes care of you guys and makes you feel safe and loved and kind of spoils you a little bit.
Mhm.
What else?
He helps me with my homework. He's really nice to my friends. Like when he buys me, like he'll buy my friends things too. He'll like order us pizza when we have sleepovers. Sometimes he'll like like when we're all telling ghost stories, he like jumps in and like scares us like with a flashlight in the dark, and everybody laughs, and all my friends like my dad too. They think he's really funny.
That sounds awesome.
Mhm.
So I'm hearing you say a lot of really positive stuff about Dad. That's great. That's wonderful you guys have such a close relationship. Now, I know when you came in you said that, Mom thought it would be a good idea for you to come in and talk today because Mom and Dad aren't going to be married anymore. Do you think anything's going to change between you and Dad? Or how do you think that's going to...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's gonna live with us anymore. My mom and dad haven't talked to us about like what's gonna happen with that. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be living with my mom and dad's gonna move out, or if I'm gonna be living with dad, or if I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't know. I'm just scared he's gonna have another family, and he'll do things with that, with the new baby, and he won't be able to do those things with me anymore.
It sounds like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I heard you saying that Mom and Dad aren't going to be married and they talked to you, that you kind of overheard some stuff between Mom and your aunt and Mom and Grandma. You know, sometimes things can happen a long time down the road, but they may not happen right now. I hear you talking about worried about the baby, worried about, Dad getting married to another lady. I know that sounds really upsetting and tough. You know, but it sounds like right now Mom and Dad are pretty focused on, you guys and taking care of you through this tough time.
Yeah.
Has everything been okay in school since Mom and Dad told you about that they're not going to be married?
Well, my teacher said that I looked like really distracted. Like, it was really embarrassing. And she called my mom too and told her, which I got mad about. But like, we were all reading in class, and we were all like supposed to be following along, but I was just like really out of it. Like, I was just kind of zoning out. And so my teacher called my name and said, "Oh, can you read the next line?" And the whole class was on page 12, and I was still on page 7, and then she like yelled at me in front of the whole class, and it was really embarrassing. And normally my teachers really like me. I really like them. I always do the work, but yeah, I was just zoning out. I think I was just thinking about other things, and I wasn't paying attention to the book.
So it sounds like you've been feeling a little distracted and worried and stuff. Those things aren't not very good things to feel, not very pleasant. So When you feel sad, or when you feel distracted, or any kind of not so good emotions, what do you do? Like, what do you do to feel better? What makes you feel good?
The drawing a lot of the time, but I like to I like to go to my grandma's and eat ice cream, and I like to play with my brother.
Mhm.
And I listen to music sometimes.
Do you play music at all?
No. My brother does. He plays the piano.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, music is kind of his thing, and then art is kind of my thing.
Sounds like you're a pretty talented couple kids.
Yeah.
So, when you, let's say that you had a bad day at school, kind of like the one you had the other day, and something doesn't go well, like with your teacher yelling, which, by the way, doesn't sound very nice. Sounds like it must have been really tough to be embarrassed in front of the whole class. What, when you're drawing something, like, tell me how you feel when you're drawing, and then how you feel kind of after you do that.
When I draw, I feel like, well, the thing with drawing is I can draw whatever I want. Like, I can draw like something real, or I can draw something that's kind of like fake, not fake, but something that, maybe like, that just isn't real. I can draw whatever I want. I can draw like what's in my imagination, and I can draw, like my friends and just anything. So I like that I can, that I have control when I draw. Like, I can just go anywhere. Like, I can, like, because sometimes when I draw, I can like pretend that I'm like there, like I'm in the drawing. Like, if I draw a picture of me at Disney World, I can like stop and think about and just pretend I'm in Disney World and think about how much fun that is. And then
that's how I feel when I read books. That's a really cool feeling to be able to feel like you're somewhere else, especially if you're going through a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So besides school, how's things been at home? Is Dad still living at home right now, you said?
Yeah, he is, but he's not really home. He's like a business. I don't really know what he does exactly, but he works like kind of long hours, so I don't really see him a lot right now. And I think like with him and my mom kind of not getting along, I think he just wants to be out for a little while.
Yeah.
And my mom is like, my aunt's always coming over, and my mom and my aunt just like sit in the kitchen and just talk and like, I don't know, like my aunt is kind of like I like my aunt, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, I feel like she doesn't really like me, and she doesn't really like my brother. I think that I don't think she likes my dad either.
What makes you feel that way, that she doesn't like you and your brother?
I know that she doesn't like my dad.
And she's Mom's sister?
Yeah, and I don't know, I heard something, like I remember one time I like was eavesdropping, like, and my aunt like said to my mom, like, that my dad like was never good enough for her, and that my mom should have never married my dad, and that that my mom should have married some other guy that she was with for a while, and I don't know, and I feel like because of that, I feel like that's why I feel like she doesn't like me and my brother, because she's just not very nice to us.
Not very nice. That's a really hard thing to hear. I think sometimes when we are saying things, have you ever, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but maybe let's say you're at school and you're talking with friends and you kind of say something not so nice about somebody, and then they overhear it, and then you feel kind of bad.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Or maybe it's happened the other way around. I know you said that your aunt said some things. What your aunt said, I think, if you think about where Mom's at right now, Mom's going through a really hard time, and so are you guys, and I think sometimes when we say something like that, your aunt had said not so nice things about your dad. Not the right thing to do, but I think she probably wasn't trying to say anything bad about you. I think she was maybe just trying to stick up for your mom a little bit.
Maybe.
Maybe
Yeah.
just wanted, maybe your aunt's pretty hurt too, you know, I mean, I know you said you are close with your little brother, and sometimes we want to protect the people that are closest to us.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you can help protect your brother? Do you feel like you're a, good big sister to him?
Yeah, I protect him from like bullies and stuff. Like, he was getting bullied for a while, and I went up to the kid that was like messing around with him, and like I said something to him. Like, I ended up pushing him, but the teachers didn't see it, and nobody told on me. But I just was trying to like stick up for my brother, because I feel like that's my job.
Yeah, and I know if we think about that and then think about the situation with your aunt and your mom, so when your aunt and your mom were talking, I mean, they probably didn't know other people were around, and sometimes we say different things when people aren't around. We might say something that we wouldn't say in front of someone else, like a private conversation, and sometimes those things can seem one way, but it's really meant another way. And if you think about that, your mom and your aunt are sisters, and when your aunt said that thing about your dad, it wasn't nice and it wasn't right. But it sounds like she was probably trying to protect mom too. Protect mom's feelings, just like you protected your brother's feelings.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way.
But it doesn't sound like she hates you at all. I think she probably loves you very much. And that's probably part of why she's so angry. Because she knows how much you guys are hurting because of things, It's hard being caught in the middle, when parents are fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
So are they fighting at home, or was this did you just kind of hear about this and you were surprised, or what's stuff like at home normally?
There's sometimes like yelling, and there's door slamming, and like I can always tell, like late at night, like I used to sometimes hear like it would be like 10 o'clock at night, and whenever I would hear the car turn on and pull away, like I knew that it was just my dad leaving, just because I knew that they had a fight. And I heard my mom crying in her room a couple of times too, and that made me sad, because I don't know what I don't know what it is about my dad that could make her upset, or what my dad could do to make her upset. I just don't get it, because I don't see my dad as being mean, so I don't know why my mom thinks that he's mean.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably a lot that I don't really understand, but
it's tough, Sometimes the stuff between grown-ups, between married people, is very hard for other people to understand. Even when, grown-ups, like, it's hard for your aunt to understand what's happening too. It's kind of hard. No one can really know, what's going on in someone's head, and no one can really know what's going on in that private time. And it sounds like that you have a lot of worry. That you're worried, and I heard you talk about being scared about not being able to go to Disney World and things like that. Sounds like you've got a lot you're nervous about.
Yeah.
And scared.
Yeah, I just want everybody to be happy, and I don't know, I still want us to go on vacations, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, how about we try and think of some things, let's try and do a couple of things here. Let's try and think of some things we can do so that you can feel a little more relaxed and a little less worried.
Okay.
And then also maybe let's try and think of maybe a way that you could talk to mom or dad about vacation, because that sounds like it's a pretty important thing to you.
Yeah.
And that it makes you feel really good and close with your family.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe you'd feel better if you were able to do that, or if you were able to even just ask about it? Because then you'd know. Okay. Well, I know you said that drawing is a really important thing that you do when you're when you're feeling worried about things. I have something right here. I just want to check. So I want to see if we can make a little list.
Okay.
I'm going to try and make a little list of some things that make you happy and make you feel good. Because
Okay.
it sounds like right now it's the start of kind of a tough time for your family, and you know, when we go through those tough times, it's important to have things that make us feel good. It's easy to kind of get overwhelmed and feel lots of worry, and it's really important to take care of yourself and do those things that you like and that make you feel good.
Mhm.
So I want to try and think of a few things. What are some foods that you really like that make you feel good when you eat them?
Meatballs.
Mhm.
Macaroni and cheese.
Mhm.
Chicken. Peanut butter and jelly. And just pasta.
Mhm.
Kit Kats.
Okay. Does Mom cook for you? Or I know you said Grandma does a lot, but
Sometimes, yeah. She cooks really good mac and cheese, homemade, with like breadcrumbs on it.
oh, yum.
She makes like a lot of like chicken, like baked chicken, and she likes to use like the crock pot a lot. So she likes to cook things in the crock pot, like, you know, different kinds of chicken and like beef stew and stuff.
Do you think maybe you could ask Mom to make one of those things sometime soon? Like, especially if you're having kind of a sad day or a hard day, maybe could you see yourself maybe asking Mom, "Hey Mom, could you make that mac and cheese with the breadcrumbs?"
Mhm.
Do you guys usually eat together?
Yeah.
And that would feel pretty good, eating one of your favorite meals with your family.
Yeah.
And kind of, you know, it's a good bonding time for you guys. Even when things are changing, you can still have those little moments that you get to spend together, you know?
Mhm.
And keep things feeling still kind of normal, even when everything isn't quite so normal. What about books? Do you read at all? Like, what kind of stuff do you like to read?
Harry Potter.
Now those, if there's any kind of book that could get you out of your head, that's one of those type of books.
Yeah. Chronicles of Narnia.
Wow, you have some pretty sophisticated reading taste for your age. Sounds like I bet you're probably pretty ahead of the game in reading.
Yeah. Actually, I was supposed to skip a grade, but I didn't want to,
Wow.
because I wanted to be with my friends and stuff, and my mom was worried
Mhm.
that if I skipped a grade it might be too much, but
Mhm. That's awesome. I mean, it sounds like you're really smart. And from
yeah.
talking with you, I can tell, you know, you're a very smart girl and you have a lot going for you. Sometimes it's nice. I noticed you said Harry Potter and Narnia, and those are both kind of like fantasy worlds, you know?
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Is it pretty easy for you to get lost in those when you're reading them?
Mhm.
What other kind of books?
Hunger Games.
Mhm. Yeah, you're reading stuff that a lot of teenagers would read.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be kind of like a little advanced in that department?
Feels good, I guess. I mean, I have some friends who read it too, but, you know, some of the stuff like is hard for me to understand, but overall I get it.
Mhm.
It feels good.
Do you ever ask Mom or ask a friend or ask someone when you don't understand something?
Mhm.
Who's the person you go to?
My dad.
Dad. You know, it sounds, I love, you know, you telling me how close you are with Dad, and, you know, I'm wondering, when you said you worry about the vacation and stuff like that, but, you know, a lot of the things you said to me today, you keep coming back to how close you are with Dad. And I wonder if maybe one of those bigger worries that is kind of harder to talk about. Do you worry about losing time and losing closeness with Dad?
Yeah. I just worry that just I worry that he's just so mad at my mom that he's not going to want to come back to the house at all.
even if he is mad at Mom, you know, we don't really know what's happening. Only Mom and Dad really know right now, but he's always going to be your dad and always going to love you. And maybe you can try and create a little time with him. You know, we can talk to Dad if you want to and see if we can create some time where you guys can. Do you guys have any little rituals now, like with reading or doing any maybe nighttime stuff? Or I know you said he comes home late, so.
Sometimes when he's home, he still reads to me, because I like hearing somebody else read to me.
That's always nice.
Yeah, sometimes we'll go out for ice cream like once a week at night.
Mhm.
And
just you and Dad, or do you, Dad, and your brother?
And my brother.
Yeah.
If he's not, you know, if he's behaving.
Do you think maybe you could ask Dad to still do those things?
Yeah.
And how would it feel if you were able to still have that, even if other things change?
It'd feel good, I think. I think it would feel good.
I know Dad makes you feel safe, and sometimes keeping those little routines, you know, like the keeping, you know, being able to go out for ice cream and read books together at night.
Yeah.
Sounds like those things bring a lot of comfort to you. Is that pretty true?
Yeah.
Well, I know it sounds like Dad cares an awful lot about keeping you safe and making you happy, and I bet that if we talked to Dad about still doing those things, that he'd probably really want to still do them and help you feel better.
Yeah.
Let's think of a couple more things here. So food and books we talked about. What I want to try and do here is make a little list for you to take with you, so that when you go home and you have one of those rough nights or a sad day when you're thinking about a lot of things, or you're feeling scared or lonely or any of those things, that you have this little list and you can think of, oh, I can eat this food to help me feel better, and or I can read this book or do this thing. And having those things, those little tools in your toolbox, it's basically going to be like a little toolbox for you.
Mhm.
And then another thing we could do maybe next time we meet is we could write those things on little strips of paper and then put them in a little jar, and then you could have your little happiness jar. And that way, when you're home and something's kind of on your mind and you're having a hard time, you can just reach into the jar and pull something out, and then you can do whatever it is. And that way you have something that's kind of a surprise and you don't necessarily know, but you can, you know, use that thing to kind of help you feel better and take you out of your out of your own head. What so now you said you like to draw. What other kind of hobbies do you
I like to roller skate.
Mhm.
And I like to swim.
Mhm.
And read, like you know, and draw.
Yes. Do you have a place you get to swim a lot?
At the YMCA. We go on the weekends sometimes.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, and my best friend has a pool, so in the summer I go over to her house a lot.
I remember you said you like to spend time with Grandma too. So that's another little, I wouldn't maybe say it's a hobby, but that's something that you can do too.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's talk one more thing about people. So, I know that you're really close with Dad. Are there some things that he says that make you feel really good? Like what feels good when he says it to you? Like what makes you feel safe?
He always says, "There's my girl," whenever he sees me. For the first time that day. Or he says, "That a girl," if I do something good. And he says, he gives me like funny nicknames too. Like he'll just like call me. He calls me like Carrot Stew. Like it's really weird.
That's
but it's
funny. I like that. Carrot Stew. That's pretty silly. I can see the smile when you say that stuff. It seems like those things make you really happy to hear. So, we've got a list of some stuff that you can do, you know, for now. And maybe next time I see you, we can bring either mom or dad in, or maybe, you know, we can talk a little more. Do you think at some point you might, I know how much you really want to go on the Disney trip, and I know how much it means to you and to your family and all of that. Do you think maybe next time we meet we could talk about talking to mom and dad about it? Maybe think of some ways we could do that that would feel easier for you?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And then we can also maybe make that little happiness jar for you so that you can have something to kind of hold on to.
Yeah.
Okay? It was really nice meeting with you today.
Thanks, you too.
Alright. Take care.
Bye.